Hi everyone, my name is Jackie, and I have lived in Grafenwoehr Germany, located in Bavaria, since August of 2020. Coming here during COVID was a very stressful time, and I hope that for all of you arriving now, you run into less of the hiccups that we did back then. When we did move here, we were traveling with a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, and two 2-year-olds. So on the perspective of an enlisted family of 6, this is what I have to offer you. When we were first arriving here, we had 16 full-sized luggages and 4 full-sized car seats. We did not travel with any pets, so I don't have any insight on that. But if you have trusted family members and a lot of kids, I would recommend considering leaving your family pet with a loved one while you're here. The flight, let's start there. I would recommend bringing tablets and leapfrogs and learning videos, whatever you're into. Just definitely have television of some kind, as well as new toys that the children have not played with yet to keep their interest. It is a long flight, and once you arrive in Ramstein, if that's where you're going to, you will be there for quite some time as well. Everyone will be tired and cranky from traveling, so introducing new toys throughout your travel is one of my main recommendations, as well as having snacks on hand that aren't messy. Avoid popcorn and goldfish crackers. It's not fun. Our flight did not have TV.
Oh, no.
Most of them I heard do, but our Patriot Express flight did not. And we also, on the day of our travels, found out that our flight was canceled without letting us know. So we packed everybody up, got to the airport, found out it was canceled. So check ahead a day or maybe same day before you fly, just to make sure your flight's still coming in, leaving from Baltimore on time. All right, a few things I wish we had known arriving in Germany. Childcare. Let me explain. If you and your partner are both service members, you have a better opportunity of receiving childcare through CYS or other facilities. If you are a one service member family, there's a really good chance you won't be higher on the list to get your child into CYS services, even if you do work. That whole process takes a very long time. If you are the non-military personnel and you do wish to find employment, I would recommend starting ahead of time and utilizing usajobs.gov. The hiring process is a lengthy one, but there are many opportunities for part-time, full-time, and even something that I do, which I work for a German company with a mini job, and it's under a certain amount of hours per week, under a certain amount of euros per paycheck, so it's not taxed. It's not that much, but it's great for traveling and holidays and extra expenses. If you are the spouse of a service member and you will not be working while you're here, or you're going to be looking for work, I do recommend going back to college. University of Maryland Global Campus is located here at Grafenwoehr, and they have a great staff that can get you on the right track to help you pursuing your career goals of whether it's a certificate program, a bachelor's, master's, or above. I started the social working process here 2 years ago, and I'm excited to say that I am completing my master's degree in about a year. So UMGC, University of Maryland Global Campus, is a great resource to use if you aren't sure what you're going to be doing while you're here. Another thing that I really wish I had known when we first arrived, but again, because of COVID, nothing was happening. Apparently there's some guy named Daniel Taylor, and he runs this YouTube page and social media page. Is called, I can't remember the name. Oh yeah, DTV. I had the opportunity to work with Daniel on a social setting during different Stammtisch, which is like a local group fest. It brings the community together. The locals meet the new Americans. The Americans meet the local businesses. It's a great experience. So if you haven't already followed Daniel, I recommend you do so now. You're going to find a lot about where to travel, where to go, what to do within certain budgets in certain countries. And I'm not sure if he has things to avoid, but he probably does. So just keep your eye out for that. Once you're here in Germany, expect a few months to get your household goods. That's totally something to be expected, especially for families, because people without children maybe can send their things a little early, but for us, we need it, we need it right away, or we need to keep it as long as possible. So once you're here, I would recommend purchasing a vacuum right away. Most of the homes, either on post or off post, are 2 to 3 stories with a basement. The stairwell is considered an open concept stairwell, meaning you can basically throw something from the 3rd floor all the way down to the basement in a tiny little gap. But that does mean, especially with pets, hair and dust will get everywhere. So get yourselves a vacuum right away. Also, if you've shipped a family vehicle and you cannot afford to purchase a car here, I would recommend getting a bicycle with a basket on the front and a basket on the back. Because lucky for us, at least here in Grafenwoehr, we are located within minutes from multiple grocery stores, multiple parks, ice cream shops, a lot of different activities for families, and even access to post. So getting a bicycle or even a little wagon, stroller, something would be a great idea while you're waiting on your vehicle. It is expensive to rent a vehicle, so we were able to manage with just the bicycle for the first few weeks, and then my spouse purchased a small little Audi German, typical to and from work. A lot of them cycle through soldiers, so they're always up for sale. So if you have an extra couple thousand that you are able to utilize, purchasing a work vehicle right away would probably be a good idea. I also have a lot of insight with schooling for children and adults. I'll start with my youngest. My twins that are now 5 years old have had the advantage and wonderful opportunity to attend German school the entire time they've been here. We were amongst the few that were very lucky, and it's not to be expected, as with the PCSs coming and going so often, a lot of German schools do not accept American children. Although things are changing, and you should look into Waldkindergartens, means forest kindergartens, where the children spend most of their time year-round outside with arts and crafts, between wood and paint and lack of plastic. Consumerism, it's just children in nature. It's a wonderful experience that is unlike anything else. School-aged children living off-post in government housing in Grafenwoehr, my other 2 children attend Grafenwoehr Elementary School. The elementary school is brand new this year. It's a state-of-the-art, 21st century, awesome building with the best elementary school staff I have ever worked with before. You will absolutely love the teachers and staff there. They love their children, and it's a wonderful, wonderful experience. If you will be living off post, whether it's here in Grafenwoehr or in the neighboring towns like Hütten or Kastel or Montel, your children will take a bus to school every day. If you live in Netzeburg, which is off-post government housing, but it's basically on-post, your children will go to Netzeburg Elementary School, and I don't have any insight on that school, but I've heard wonderful things as well. One of my children is an EFMP child with a diagnosis of ADHD and a learning delay. We have had wonderful, heartwarming experience with these special education teachers at Grafenwoehr Elementary. So if you're watching this, huge shout out to all of you. The speech pathologist, the reading specialist, sped teachers, even the preschool sped teachers, super great. So hats off to all of you and them if you're going to be experiencing working with them at all. I would recommend, before you leave the United States, to purchase travel passports. Yes, those are the ones that are an out-of-pocket expense. The Army will not cover those expenses, but I promise you, you will want to utilize it. A lot of the countries here have open borders, so some people think they can get away without using that. That's not safe, especially traveling with children. I don't recommend just going with the flow. If you're able to, put some money aside, purchase those passports. Austria, Czech, France, Italy are all just a few hours away from us. Speaking of traveling, there's this wonderful town about 3.5 hours away from Grafenwoehr, and the town is called Garmisch Edelweiss, and it is my heart and soul I absolutely love that place. It is a breathtaking, wonderful experience, especially if you are new to traveling. Start there. There's a American base, very small there, but there's a giant hotel similar to Great Wolf Lodge in a way, and that is called Edelweiss Lodge and Resort. They speak English there. They take American currency, and you're also on a military installation, so bring your military IDs. It's a great and fun family adventure with lots of things nearby. There are challenges anytime we PCS, right? My best experience PCSing was actually from Kansas to Germany. They are very careful with your household goods, more careful, I would say, than the short move from Texas to Kansas. So it's always the luck of the draw, depending on the packers. But from my experience on the receiving end, the German companies are phenomenal when it comes to packing and unloading your household goods. They're a very respectful country, and they take their jobs very seriously. Okay. Americans, being culturally competent is extremely important, especially when moving to another country. Even if you don't plan on traveling and you decide you never want to leave post and you just want to be in America all day, please understand that we are visitors here. We need to respect the German culture and the people who have invited us into their country. That being said, let me teach you a little word. Servus. Servus. That is a local greeting and see you later here in Germany, and I recommend learning that right away because they will be able to tell off the bat that you're American, and a lot of Americans seem to not take the time to learn common greetings that are just a courtesy here. There's wonderful bakeries, restaurants, and local shops, and it's just kind to learn a few words, if not many, where we're located. Germany is full of hardworking, kind people, but our cultural differences are very obvious. So if you see someone staring at you, don't think they're being rude. That's just the cultural difference. Also, if you've ever shopped at Aldi's in the States, expect it to be even faster when it comes to loading your groceries. You just gotta get them all in your basket. Might as well just load them in the totes when you get to your car. There are no plastic bags at any of the grocery stores here, so you can purchase the canvas totes here in Germany or, back in the States, but please remember that they are very eco-friendly here. They take recycling very seriously, and get used to sorting your paper, your plastic, your glass, your bio, which is your biodegradable food items, as well as your regular garbage. A lot of Americans, I have read, complain about not having a large enough garbage container. Well, I'm telling you, as a family of 6, arriving here with 2 that were still in diapers, you do not need a larger garbage can. Be conscious of the environment and conscious of the country we're in. On that note, housing. A lot of the housing here is super close. A lot of our yards are on the street. There aren't sidewalks in the neighborhoods, but the streets are safe for the most part. So your children riding their bikes, playing with chalk, all of that can still be done, but just please take note that there aren't sidewalks. So be careful. On the streets and in the towns there are, but I'm talking about the neighborhoods right now. Also, if you have an animal and you are coming here, especially with a dog, it is very important that you get used to cleaning up your dog poop now, because they take that very seriously here. Yes, we are renters, but again, we're not just renting, we are guests in another country. 9 p.m., they take their quiet hours very seriously, and on Sunday, there is no cutting the lawn, loud parties, things like that. It's quiet time, it's family time. This is a Catholic area, so there's a lot of church things on Sundays. All the grocery stores are closed, but most of the restaurants will still be open. So if you have your shopping to do, get it done on Saturday or before. The houses here are really neat. Most of them are going to have the slanted roofs on the upper floors, which means with the open stairwell concept of the homes, the upstairs does get warm in the summertime. Germans have created this amazing roll-it-in, and it is a metal wall that comes down on the outside of your windows. So in the summertime, I recommend having your windows open at nighttime, and then in the morning before 10 o'clock, put the roll-it-ins down. Your house will stay nice and cool because the homes are made out of cement. So in the wintertime, they stay warm. In the summertime, they really do stay cool. A lot of Americans do have the window unit, ACs, totally cool, but in the 4 summers now that we've been here, we've actually only used ours for 1 summer. As I mentioned, located here in Grafenwoehr, we're located in a great location, very close to multiple grocery stores, including the commissary on post. That being said, a family that has, for the most part, while we've been here, been a 1-income family up until recently, we're on a budget. And I have found that shopping at the commissary is not always, actually, in fact, it's more often than not that it's more expensive than shopping on what's called the economy, which is everything off post. The Aldi and Lidl, I would say, are probably the most affordable grocery stores that have amazing produce. So just because it's reduced in price, don't think it's going to be reduced in quality. Again, we're in a country that respects and takes pride in their produce and their products. So Germany has great things to offer at the grocery stores. The grocery store Edeka is a little bit more expensive of a grocery store, but also has a larger variety of foods, different slices of meat. I would recommend going off post for any and all of your meat purchases. Supporting local business is not only important in the United States, but it's also important here, as the town of Grafenwoehr and the neighboring towns across Europe outside of army bases really rely on our companionship and our consumerism from Americans shopping at their stores. So I would recommend that if you are a meat eater, you try checking out the local stores or the butcher shops before going to the commissary. However, On Post does have some wonderful things like the PX. It's very similar to a lot of the PXs that you'll find in the States when it comes to Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts. It's pretty cool that we have those for when you're craving, but there are some great bakeries local that, again, I would say support your local businesses, because the families that own these shops are just, I'm going to advocate for them all day. This is a great town. You're going to absolutely love it here. I hope you have a wonderful experience and that you are able to utilize all the local resources. And I think your one-stop shop is with DTV. I have to go do homework now.